me ask you something. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by the chaos of modern life? You know, that constant flood of notifications, expectations, the pressure to be everything, everywhere, all at once. Now, imagine facing any challenge, big or small, with unshakable calm and unwavering purpose. Imagine not just surviving the storm, but standing tall in it. That's the essence of what I call the modern Stoic Spartan. A mindset forged in ancient wisdom, yet sharper than ever for our modern world. Today, we're diving deep into that mindset. This isn't about pretending to be emotionless or detached from life. No, it's about learning to respond instead of react. It's about finding peace, not in escaping chaos, but in mastering it. So, grab a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and settle in. Because what we're talking about today could genuinely reshape the way you see the world and the way you show up in it. Before we dive in, a quick favor: hit subscribe. It allows us to continue bringing you powerful content centered on self-development, self-awareness, and cultivating warrior-level discipline. Now, let's talk about that feeling, the one where you're struggling because you feel the world is fighting you. Stick around until the very end, because I promise this video will equip you with the strategy to win that personal war. Here we go. Part 1. The mindset of a modern Stoic Spartan. The resilient foundation, ancient wisdom for a modern world. Here's a truth that hit me hard one day. We've advanced more technologically in the last 20 years than the ancient Greeks did in centuries. Yet we're more anxious, more restless, more distracted than ever. Why? Because while our tools have evolved, our minds haven't caught up. When I first stumbled upon Stoicism years ago, I thought it was about being stoic, cold, indifferent, detached. But then I learned about Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, and I realized Stoicism was never about feeling less. It was about feeling wisely. And when I paired that with the Spartan ethos, discipline, courage, simplicity, I began to see something powerful. A philosophy that doesn't ask us to escape the modern world, but to master our place within it. In 2025, with all our chaos, uncertainty, and speed, ancient philosophy isn't outdated, it's oxygen. The modern Stoic Spartan archetype isn't about withdrawing from emotion. It's about standing in the fire, calm and grounded, while the world burns around you, and saying, I choose my response. Training your inner citadel, embracing discomfort. Let me tell you a quick story. A few winters ago, I started taking cold showers. Not because I wanted to be trendy, but because I wanted to train my mind to do something it didn't want to do. The first few seconds were brutal. Every cell screamed, nope! But then something fascinating happened. By embracing that discomfort, I started to notice how calm I felt afterward. It wasn't about the cold, it was about reclaiming choice. That's what the Spartans understood. They didn't avoid hardship, they courted it. They knew that every act of voluntary struggle builds invisible armor. So, in today's world, your cold shower might look different. Maybe it's deleting social media for a week. Maybe it's having that uncomfortable conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's waking up early and journaling instead of scrolling. Each small act of discomfort is a deposit into your fortress of resilience. Because when you train in peace, you bleed less in war. The mind's armor, control what you can. Here's the heart of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. There are things you can control and things you can't. Everything else, every worry, every headline, every comment, falls into one of those two categories. When I finally learned to focus only on what I could control, my actions, my attitude, my effort, it felt like someone handed me the keys to peace. Think about it. You can't control what someone posts online. You can't control the economy, the weather, or how fast the world moves. But you can control your response. That's what I call your responsibility, your ability to respond. It's your superpower. When you realize your energy is precious and shouldn't be wasted on the uncontrollable, you start to reclaim your mind. You become grounded, clear, unshakable. That's the armor of the modern Stoic Spartan, an internal calm that nothing external can break. Purpose-driven action. Living with intent. Let's talk about purpose, arete, as the Greeks called it. Excellence, virtue, the pursuit of becoming the best version of yourself. Purpose doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, do the next right thing. When I was struggling to find direction, I stopped chasing motivation and started building discipline. Because motivation is fleeting, but discipline is freedom. Spartans didn't train only when they felt like it. They trained because they knew who they wanted to become. And that's your call today. Define your arete. What does excellence look like for you? Maybe it's showing up consistently for your family. Maybe it's building something meaningful. Maybe it's mastering your craft quietly, without applause. Once you know your purpose, break it down into small, daily drills, your modern Spartan training. Even 5 minutes of focused effort each day compounds into something extraordinary. Because the truth is, greatness isn't one grand moment. It's 1,000 small victories in the dark. Your unconquerable self, the path forward. Let's bring it home. The modern Stoic Spartan mindset rests on 4 pillars. 1. Resilience, the ability to endure with grace. 2. Discomfort, embracing what strengthens you. 3. Control, focusing your energy where it truly matters. 4. Purpose, living each day with intent. Together, these build something far more valuable than success. They build freedom. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need to move to the mountains or meditate in silence for years. You just start, right now, right here, with one choice, one breath, one response. Because the modern Stoic Spartan isn't a myth or an ideal. It's you. It's me. It's anyone who decides to stop being ruled by chaos and start mastering themselves. So, I'll leave you with this question. What would your life look like if you met every challenge with calm confidence instead of panic? If you stopped trying to control everything and simply mastered your response? That's your invitation, to build your inner citadel brick by brick. Before we proceed to part 2, if this reflection sparked something in you, if it made you think differently, breathe deeper, or stand a little taller, then don't let it end here. Subscribe. Join me on this journey of resilience, purpose, and modern Stoic strength. Because together, we're not just surviving the modern world, we're mastering it. Let's continue. Part 2, the Stoic Forge, building resilience. Daily, we turn the heat of daily life into the strength of resilience. In this part, we're talking about the indestructible mindset and why now, more than ever, is the time to build it. You felt it, haven't you? That restless churn of the world speeding up, notifications buzzing, endless headlines, opinions stacking up like waves you can't quite dodge. It's wild out there. Our attention is the new battlefield, and peace of mind is the prize. That's why Stoicism, this ancient, dust-covered philosophy from the streets of Athens and the halls of Rome, feels so fresh again. It's not an escape from modern chaos. It's a sword we can sharpen because of it. Marcus Aurelius didn't have a smartphone, but he had an empire to run and inner storms to tame. Seneca faced exile and loss. Epictetus was born a slave and still found freedom in his own mind. So why now? Because their struggles echo ours. Different tools, same turmoil. Today, I want to walk with you through how we can turn those old Stoic principles into daily armor. Not just something to read about, but something to live. Because resilience isn't built in one grand act. It's forged, piece by piece, day after day. Forging the foundation. Morning rituals for resilience. Morning is the forge fire. That first breath of the day when the metal is soft and the mind can still be shaped. For me, it starts with a journal. Nothing fancy, just a few minutes of stillness before the world rushes in. I write, Memento Mori at the top. Remember, you will die. It sounds dark, but it's actually freeing. It reminds me that every sunrise is a gift, not a guarantee. Then comes Amor Fati, the love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, but embracing it. I once missed a flight, furious at first, pacing the terminal. But that delay gave me hours to think, to reset, to have an unexpected conversation with a stranger who later became a close friend. Life's detours often lead us to places we didn't know we needed to go. Before the day pulls me under, I try a bit of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. I imagine what could go wrong today. A tough meeting, a miscommunication, a flat tire. Not to worry myself, but to steel my spirit. When trouble arrives, it doesn't shock me. I've already shaken its hand. And then, movement. A walk, some breath work, maybe a few stretches. The Stoics believed that philosophy wasn't just for the mind, but for the body too. When you move intentionally, you connect the two. You become anchored, less at the mercy of every emotional gust. Midday mastery, Stoicism in motion. Now, the middle of the day, that's where the real test begins. When the inbox fills up, tempers flare, deadlines loom, that's when Stoicism stops being theory and starts being your compass. I like to check myself with the dichotomy of control. Ask, can I control this? If yes, I act. If no, I let go. Simple, but not easy. Just last week, someone cut me off in traffic. Old me might have shouted, maybe honked, but I took a breath. Could I control that driver? No. Could I control my response? Yes. I turned the music up, smiled, and kept driving. Little victories like that, that's how resilience builds. Then there's negative visualization, imagining losing what I take for granted. Not to spiral into fear, but to amplify gratitude. I picture my morning coffee gone, my loved ones distant, my health fading, and suddenly, I taste the day with more sweetness. Gratitude born from awareness is the deepest kind. And when setbacks hit, as they always do, I think of Epictetus. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The next time something derails your plan, treat it as a test, a training session for your soul. Evening reflection, solidifying your stoic strength. Evening, that's when the forge cools and you inspect the work. Sit down, maybe with a cup of tea or under a quiet lamp. Review your day, not to judge, but to understand. Where did you lose your cool? Where did you hold your ground? What moments made you proud? And which ones are invitations to grow? Marcus Aurelius did this every night in his journal. His meditations weren't written for us, they were his private check-ins. But through them, we get to peek into a man refining himself one evening at a time. Try the view from above. Imagine yourself zooming out, your home, your city, your planet spinning in space. Suddenly, that awkward meeting, that late email, that small frustration, they shrink. The universe hums on, and you realize you're okay. You're part of something vast. Before bed, plan for tomorrow. Not from anxiety, but intention. What kind of person do you want to be when the sun rises again? Beyond the daily grind, the long game of fortitude. Here's the thing about resilience. It's not built overnight. It's a lifelong craft. Each small act, each morning reflection, each calm response, each mindful breath adds a layer to your armor. Over time, you start to notice something magical. You don't break as easily. You bend, breathe, adjust, and keep going. That's the Stoic way. When you practice daily, you build not just mental strength, but emotional intelligence. The quiet power to lead, to listen, to live with presence. You start to see that every moment, even the hard ones, are invitations to become unshakable. That's the heart of the Stoic Forge. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up each day to strengthen your inner metal. If today's reflection sparked something in you, if you felt even a flicker of peace or purpose, I'd love for you to join this growing community. Subscribe, follow, and share your journey. Let's build this indestructible mindset together. One day, one habit, one breath at a time. Also, drop your reflections below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, stories, comments, or even your favorite Stoic quote. Remember, the forge burns hottest right before the steel is strong enough to hold its shape. So keep going. You're not behind, you're becoming. Thanks for listening to the Stoic Forge. Until next time, warriors, stay steady, stay curious, and keep forging your strength.